Hello, welcome to Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside. And I don't know if you've heard the national news about the atmospheric river that devastated LA, but in the park where we film, we came out here to find this tree laying on its back. And I want to ask the tree a couple of questions. When did this happen? It happened when I was just standing here like I normally do, and I kept getting saturated. Oh, is that right? You kept getting saturated? Yeah, I kept getting saturated. Are you doing my voice, by the way? I got shit to say. No, I just want to know, when, now you felt like, is there any chance of resurrecting you? Absolutely not. As you can see, my roots are out, and I just don't feel good. I don't feel well. You mean there's no chance for recovery? No, I don't think so. I'm getting weaker. What they're gonna do, I've seen this shit before, is that the park people, by the way, when I'm talking, how come the mic is next to you? I'm sorry. Now you're doing the opposite of what you should do. I'm sorry, but listen, I was just wondering what's going to happen. Well, the park people are going to come with the chainsaw, and they're going to cut me up, and I don't want to do that. It sucks. Well, there you have it. Well, thank you, Mr. Tree. Thank you. I guess this will be my last interview. I'm sorry, Mr. Tree, but, Jesus Christ, you're big, huh? Yeah. All right. Well, this is Ed Pepitone for Apocalypse Soon. You see a tree ripped out of its habitat in the middle of a life. Home to squirrels, home to birds, and now it will be firewood. And this is just the beginning of our environmental collapse. Back to you, Kev.
Hey, folks, before you get started, check out the links below. Whatever you're listening to or watching right now, you can find EddiePepitone.com. You can find our Patreon account where you get this video the day that it comes out and some exclusive clips of Eddie Pepitone himself. Go to EddiePepitone.com. You can see all his tour dates. And go to YouTube where you can see clips and full episodes of this podcast. And now, let's get into the show. Ladies and gentlemen, the dogs are out, the trees are falling, the rain is dried up, and we're here in the park. I can't believe it. He's sitting next to me. He's got his classic New York Yankees cap. Make it loud for him. The Apple Watch is on. It's Eddie Pepitone.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apocalypse. It's cold around the park. It's cold. Hey, everybody, it's cold. It's cold, but when the sun comes out, it gets warm, and that's the LA winter. And it's good to be here, Kev. We had some incredible rain. We already interviewed a tree.
Yes, that tree. It was a hard-to-get interview. It was hard to get, but we nailed him down. But how did you... So we were the headline. I don't know how you felt about this. Yes.
But we were the headlines for days, like CNN, New York Times, about the California atmospheric rivers.
Yes.
Of moisture. Just, I mean, talk about driving in the rain. I mean...
Buddy, living in the rain.
How about living in the rain?
Yeah.
The rain, she came down. She came down like a court-ordered... like a court-ordered stay, like a court-ordered restraining order. That's how the rain came down. The rain came down the way Joe Louis went down in his final fight. I don't know if Joe Louis ever got knocked out, actually.
I think he went down.
Probably we all go down. You know, that's the thing, is that we're up. Mm-hmm. Shot down in May. back up.
Yeah.
And I think it's June.
I wake up in the middle of the night with a man standing over me counting sometimes. He goes, 7. And I wake, I'm like, what's happening?
Wait a minute. He's up. He's
out.
Taking us up. Taking us up. That's your wife counting you out.
Yeah, I'm just brushing my teeth. He's out of the house, folks.
So we really have had incredible rain and just incredible saturation.
Mm-hmm.
It went until last night. I was outside of the Rogue-like Tavern in Burbank, about to do a show. Great show.
Great spot.
And just, there were bands of rain. I looked on my iPhone. It said 60-mile-per-hour gusts.
Yeah.
And bands of rain.
Yeah, wild bands. Yeah.
These bands, I mean, first of all, they all smoke weed.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Folks, these kind of jokes don't write themselves.
No.
That's why you need to become a Patreon member.
Mm-hmm.
We spend hours and hours coming up with material such as storm bands smoke weed.
Mm-hmm.
So please, Bread Circus membership on Apocalypse Soon. It goes right into our pockets.
That's right.
We have no overhead anymore. This tree is free for as long as it's standing.
Yeah,
which may not be too much.
It might not be. It's very saturated here.
It is.
It's
actually.
super mushy over here. Well, I felt informed about the atmospheric river because of doing this podcast with you. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, I know what that is. It's like that's. I've been hearing about that for months.
Well, it came to pass, and for instance, downtown LA got a. Now, this is a pretty staggering statistic. Downtown LA got a year's worth of rain in one day.
Really? That is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild, man. I was driving my kids to school in the rain because we're up in the hills, so everything is.
Oh, we're
rushing.
Up in the hills.
It's rushing.
By the way, that's where it's dangerous, and that's why I like being poor.
Mm-hmm.
Being in the Matrix.
Yes.
Down here. I'm down here with the peasants, the proletariat,
the regular folk.
The Snopes, if you know that Steinbeck reference.
Mm-hmm.
And it is not as dangerous as up in the hills. So what did you see with the water?
Well, it's just the water just rushing down the streets and everywhere, but we're so high up that it's leaving, But even with the angle of having the water rushing out, it was still holding up and building up in some areas where it got a little rough. And my kids had to walk to school the other day because I wasn't around.
In the rain?
In the rain, yeah.
With torrents?
Yeah.
And I don't use the word torrents lightly. Torrents of water. I mean, your kids, and I say this with all due respect, your kids could have been swept away.
I know.
By a river never to be seen again. Now, I know that would cut your overhead.
A little bit. Yeah.
Well, I would think a lot.
I mean, we could start going to nice restaurants again.
That's right.
Hello,
Mr. and Mrs. Tinkan. I see no children. That's right, Henri. Oh, so will we be seeing more of you since the children were carried away by a torrent?
Yes,
of what?
sir.
Oh, yes.
I'd be on the news going, "Hey, has anybody seen my kids?" And they're like, "Why are you smiling?"
You have you don't even have a photo. You have a sketch of them, in pencil.
Yeah. You can't see this.
You don't really want him to be found.
No. He has blue eyes, but don't worry about that. This is a pencil. It's a rough idea. You'll see. If you see him, you'll know. You'll know it's him.
You'll know. Yeah. My mother used to say, I have blue eyes like Paul Newman.
Oh.
He was a big star back then.
I always loved the mom compliment. My mom, she would always be very complimentary, and I'm like, "You're my mom. Stop."
They're
it.
always complimentary, even if you're even if you're being swept away by a torrent of water. They're like, "You look terrific, honey."
Yes, yeah. Now, I remember I got decapitated once, and
What?
she goes, "You look so handsome." I go, "My head's gone, mother."
No, I'm talking about your head.
Oh, thanks.
Even though
Mom.
it's disembodied now and rolling down the gutter.
I like it without all the clutter of your body being attached.
Yes, and it's a good haircut you got. Yeah, so your kids had to walk to school. Why?
It's just discipline, I just wanted to. I want to build
No,
character.
it's good.
and,
Well, as the scientists say, and I always echo, we are going to be coming into end of days, whether it's 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, it's coming.
It's coming.
I time my life right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be dead. I'll be long dead when you folks will be fleeing things. Right?
Yeah, when we're barricading the doors right after your funeral, it's like I had to get out for Pepitone's memorial, and then go back and try to figure out what happened with the world, and you'll be giggling in the cosmos, as a star, a twinkling star in the night.
God,
talking shit on the night sky.
With the breakdown of the climate catastrophe, I was listening to a guy, if anybody knows him, he was big time deep into psychedelics, particularly mushrooms, named Terence McKenna.
Oh, yeah.
And Terence McKenna, on a lecture, he's great to live. By the way, YouTube lectures, Terence McKenna.
Yes.
So fucking good. And you don't even have to smoke weed to get into it. By the way, I have 67 days complete sobriety.
Hell yeah.
67 days.
Congrats.
Now I'm looking at you and I feel like last night maybe you had a little bit of a...
Oh, buddy. oh, buddy.
Is that... Yeah, you look a little like... You took a shot.
I just woke. I was sleeping in my car right out here in the park.
Really?
No.
Ah.
Oh man, yeah. I took a little bit of a shot. The old industry. I got another beautiful Los Angeles rejection this week, and the only appropriate thing to do felt like was to go down to the carport and smoke some weed.
You call it a carport?
Yeah.
That's very British of you.
Is it?
I just call it my garage.
The garage.
It's not my garage. It's a public garage.
Yeah, I go down there, and I'm very skittish when I'm smoking weed in my carport because...
Why?
Well, I don't want the neighbors to come down and see me.
Why don't you smoke inside?
Because my
Oh, you don't smoke in your house?
Oh, never.
Oh, okay. I thought you did. I thought you were king of the castle.
No way, dude. My wife, even if I smoke outside, I'll bring it. The scent will come in with me,
and
she'll go, What is that?
No,
is that
she is not.
What is that?
She knows, right?
She knows what it is. I go, it's me. I just...
It's me, honey.
I was just...
when you entered into this arrangement, you get all of me, baby.
That's right. Yeah. I was feeding my demise in the garage. Yeah. So that was.
So you did partake last night to kill the pain, to numb the pain.
I was licking my wounds, so to speak. Stayed up way too late. I watched a romantic comedy, which is just...
That is a sure sign of weed use when you're watching a romantic comedy that you normally don't watch, and it sucks,
yes.
But you're still watching it. Like you're watching it and going, well... I'm high. I might as well watch this romantic comedy. Right?
I didn't even like it. I was like 20 minutes in, and I'm like, this fucking idiot. I was so upset at the characters. And then I was like, what? I was too invested in the characters. But, I had purpose last night. I had purpose and meaning. And
I could just see you. You're in front of it with, caramel corn in front of failure to launch. And you're like, God, McConaughey really did hit his stride and failure to launch.
He really did. Yeah. I'm just like, why doesn't Kate Hudson get it? Why doesn't she understand who he is? She needs to stop being so difficult. Just get over yourself, Kate.
Meanwhile, I'm perfectly sober in my bed going, boy, I wish I had a joint. It would make this fucking movie a lot better.
I catastrophize when I'm high, when I'm...
Of course.
Because...
In what way? What do you catastrophize?
Well, like you get I mean, you get rejected every couple of days in this town, but every time something like that happens, I'll just be like, well, it's all over. I guess that's it. I guess it's the end for me.
Is that after you smoke?
That's just usually like, after I smoke, I'll get into that state. Or if I'm kind of in between, but I've got the hazy, the purple haze, as Hendrix would call it. When I'm in the haze, I'm always, just in it. And I get very dramatic in my own mind. And, then I come down, I keep 1 foot tethered.
Well, here's what I would suggest for you going through a rejection like that is book a show, get on stage as soon as possible and do what you love. Seriously, like you can't sit in that rejection because, and this is, the fucking truth about Los Angeles. By the way, we did that audition tape and I thought I would get that. I didn't get it. Not a word. And you never know.
I guess that's it for you.
Yeah.
I guess that's all for Pepitone.
But you never know what goes into these rejections. They're usually not very personal.
Yeah. Well, I try to attack the person that I hold up responsibility for.
Oh, absolutely.
And then I feel horrible because they'll explain what happened. And I'll be like, sorry about calling you a dumb, dirty whore. I didn't mean that. I was just upset, and that makes sense, and I hope we can be friends.
Well, look, we're comics. We have hair trigger anger.
Yes.
Hair trigger.
Yes.
I'm a loaded gun, and I go off occasionally.
Oh, yes, you do.
I go off.
It happens. It's a beautiful thing, though, I will say, seeing your gun fire off, I'm always
I went
impressed.
off recently on a booker myself. And you can't take that back, even though I did see that there is an undo button on text messages now, but I didn't know that.
Dear God.
A couple of days ago.
I wish that was true. There's so many single people out there that have made some late night texts. You wake up and you see
now
what
those
you've sent.
are usually alcohol, drug fueled.
Yes. Yeah, but having an undo button, I imagine that would be very nice.
There is one, by the way. Just look into that. It's definitely there, the undo button now. I don't know if it's because I have the newest iPhone, and it's a beauty, by the way. Let me see if I can. It's a real beauty.
Wow. That's pretty nice.
I changed the wallpaper.
What is that? Is that...
B15. The 15 Max Pro.
What are that? Some purple flowers, purple and yellow flower. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah. I'm comfortable in my sexuality, so I don't mind putting.
Yeah, you are.
You bet your ass I am.
Sometimes I see you at the Leather Daddy spots. I'll be driving to do an open mic.
Leather Daddy?
Yeah, and I'll see you in your assless chaps on the street.
When you're comfortable in your sexuality, you can go to a place like Leather Daddy and just say hello, and the guy behind the counter is like, let me guess, you're comfortable in your sexuality? You don't want any products? I go, no, I'll take a pair of pants without an ass. Now,
I'm comfortable with my sexuality.
That's when you're really comfortable with your sexuality, when as a heterosexual, you can walk around in assless chaps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And go to CVS or Rite Aid. Rite Aids are closing. But CVS or Walgreens, and just go in there and go, yes. Do you have any rectal thermometer? Like, I like to make it ass chap, relevant, if that's the word.
You gotta live free like that, It's a beautiful scene that I'm picturing of you in Rite Aid, getting some Vaseline and ointments late at night, a couple more bottles of medication to fill up the bag.
You're describing me on the road now. I'm about to hit the road, folks. EddiePepitone.com.
Yes.
I say this with a sigh. I'm going to, because I've been doing good here. I've been hitting the gym. I've been staying sober.
Yeah.
I got to keep it going on the road.
You're going to Florida, right?
I'm going to Florida. I'm going to Miami for a few
Woo-wee.
gigs. And then all this is on my website, eddiepepitone.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to Tampa, me and JT Habersat. We go to Side Splitters. So I'm about to hit the road. I'm going to do a stop in New York at the beginning of the trip just to check in with a couple of my New York people. No shows.
Yeah. That's good.
Flying in on Super Bowl Sunday.
Are you really?
Yeah, because fuck, who gives a shit?
I
really?
bet that'll be really nice.
Well, yeah, I think the skies will be empty.
Yes, yeah.
You know?
The eyes will be on the bowl.
Yes,
and that's great.
Even though a lot of terrorist attacks happen on days like that, like big event days.
Yeah.
But the way I see it is, I've lived a good long life.
Great way to go out.
I mean, I do have a bidet now.
Hey, by the way, I got mine in the mail.
What'd you think?
Did
you hook it up?
I did. The accuracy.
Was it easy?
It was. Yeah, it was fairly easy. I needed some sort of a wrench thing, but it was very minimal. And that the aim on that thing is wild. I installed it. I sat down. I did my business, and it's bullseye every time. No adjustment.
I wish the aim. I wish the aim of this bidet was matched by some of my sexual partners.
Yeah, sometimes in the dark, as you're groping in the dark, that's how I refer to as sex, is groping in the dark. You can get some near misses, and it's dangerous,
and that could lead to all kinds of trips to the hospital. Right?
1,000,000-to-1 shot, Doc. You remember that Seinfeld episode where he gets the Fusilli Jerry stuck up his ass, and he goes to the doc in the emergency room. He goes, "There's 1,000,000-to-1 shot, Doc. I slipped and fell, and it ended up in my ass."
Is that right? I don't remember that.
It's a great episode.
Can't stand Seinfeld.
Oh, really?
Well, I used to love the show, but I can't stand.
Yes.
The thing
the
that
facade.
Is Jerry Seinfeld. Just like not for me. Should we get into a bit?
Yes, sir. I think we should just jump right into a guided meditation.
Let's do it. I think there's been a lot of tension in our society, and we are complicit in a genocide that's going on in the Mideast, and it literally is a horrific genocide. And
you've been getting a little flack online. A little bit of backlash.
Yeah, but also a lot of support. So, but it's not about me. It's about just how fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Mass starvation now. It's really
wild.
fucked up. And that's our world, and that's in our name and all that. So I think we need a guided meditation, don't you?
Yes. And as the rain evaporates in North Hollywood Park, and the bombs continue crashing down all over the world, it's time for another guided meditation with Eddie Pepitone.
All right, everybody. I'm sure you could hear the helicopters swirling above your house. In Los Angeles, those are called ghetto birds, keeping people who have little money and little resources in line. So I hope you're in light-fitting clothing. I myself am in sweatpants, these beautiful sweatpants. The material is very expensive. They are produced in sweatshops where people are chained to their workstations, but the pants are cheap, and that's all that counts. So with your first in-breath, I want you to breathe in the fact that people all over the world are chained to their workstations in service of the billionaires as they accrue and accumulate more and more capital, and the great vast majority of the population perishes swimming in their own blood, urine, and semen, which is essentially my underwear. So breathe that in. Breathe that in. And now, with your first out breath, I want you to let go. Let go of the last bit of change you have. We all have change in our pockets. As a matter of fact, that sounds like an Irish play, Change in Our Pockets. I believe the actual title of that Irish play is Stones in Our Pocket. I saw that at the Amundsen Theater here in Los Angeles many years ago. I haven't been to the theater here in Los Angeles in many years because the theater scene here in Los Angeles is disgusting. But I want you to breathe out the fact that you're letting go of all the change in your pockets. The title of that play is Stones in Your Pockets. I don't think I ever finished that thought. Well, breathe out all the change that you're letting go, all the final preparations you're going to have to make as you slide into poverty and the militarized police forces surround your house because you haven't paid rent. And you yourself are in your house, you're barricaded in your pathetic dwelling. Breathe all that out. Breathe it all out. Your coming demise in a militarized industrial prison complex. Prison, of course, is an industry that makes money on our poverty. Prisoners don't get paid. They work for T-Mobile, Verizon, Starbucks, other corporations for no money. Breathe it all out. Breathe all that exploitation and coming doom out. And with your next in-breath, breathe in hope. Hope that you won't die violently when you're barricaded in your house against debt collectors. Hope that our food supply holds out for another year or two. Hope that you haven't listened to the Terence McKenna YouTube lecture where he said climate breakdown will lead to, quote, unspeakable horrors, end of quote. And that is coming very shortly. We're already witnessing it with various extreme weather events. So breathe all that in. And now with your final out breath, I want you to take a belt. Take a belt. Wrap it around your neck and hang yourself from a doorway. Not that you choke yourself to death, but choke yourself just enough where when you masturbate, you can have a shuddering orgasm. Don't do what the In Excess guy did or David Carradine, where they died masturbating, because when people find you after you've masturbated with a belt and they find you in a hotel room, it is not easy to explain away for your loved ones.
Thanks for joining us on another guided meditation with Eddie Pepitone.
Oh, I think that should put a pep in someone's step. You know, we covered a lot of ground: climate breakdown and militarized police forces and as autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, you got to cover the gambit of subjects on these, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kev. I have never done autoerotic asphyxiation because I don't have the guts.
Yes.
I mean, who doesn't want a shuddering orgasm?
I mean, even you talking about it right now, it's,
Yes, sometimes I've screamed out during sex, but that's because I realized no one was there.
I usually yell, "I'm sorry," during an orgasm.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Gosh dang it.
God dang it. I didn't mean to come when I was putting on my deodorant.
Yeah, I usually scream, "I'm sorry," and then I explain, maybe if we had sex more, I could last longer.
Yes.
And that's my sex life. It's a real drama.
I've been lately to try to promote orgasms. I've been driving naked with the top down on the coast.
Ooh.
I have a little Mini Cooper, and I put the top down, and I drive naked down the coast singing the following song. Look what they've done to my song. Look what they've done. Now, I get a lot of looks from people going the other way. It's a one-lane, the Pacific Coast Highway, the PCH.
Oh, yeah, beautiful highway. Great place to be naked in a Mini. It's a solid spot. And the reverberation off of the seawall.
That's what I'm trying to get to inspire an orgasm.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And I think very hard about the things that make me aroused, like, a hockey fight, the witch burnings,
Salem?
Salem.
Oh, yeah. That'll get you going.
Remember Salem cigarettes?
I do. Oh, yeah.
Are they still out there?
I don't know if they're still out there, but I do know those are the cigarettes that David Spade's mother used to smoke.
How do you know that?
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I try not to brag on here, but, I know things.
Do you listen to a lot of podcasts? I don't listen to any.
I do. I listen and I go, well, what the? Why is this working? And then I go back.
Spade is a big celebrity.
Yes.
Does he have anything interesting to say?
He does.
That's good.
It's him and Dana Carvey do a podcast together that I listen to, and he also has an audio book out that I've listened to too.
Who?
Spade.
Oh, okay. What's the audiobook? Just about his career?
It's called Almost Interesting. Yeah, and it's like a memoir. It's pretty good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a fun stand-up to watch too. I don't know if you've ever seen him on stage.
I have. I like him. He's very light.
Yes.
Like David Spade is, someone who's not going to attack the big issues, but he's very light.
Yes.
You know who's really funny, too, from that school is Kevin Nealon.
I love Kevin. I prefer
Nealon
Kevin Standen
is maybe
myself.
the funniest. Huh?
I prefer Kevin Standen myself.
Standen?
He is great. He's great to, I've done sound when he's there, and I've got to get signatures and things, and he's a sweet guy. He's always funny and talks to me and is very cordial. Good guy.
I haven't seen him in a bit.
Yeah, him and Daryl Hammond and a couple of other guys did a show, like a Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
alum.
Greg runs that show.
Yeah. It was great. It was fantastic, and I could see.
Were you doing sound on that?
I was
show?
doing sound on it, and
How were they? How were those guys?
The performances were fantastic.
They were
very fantastic. Yeah, but
Daryl Hammond was good too.
Daryl was great, man. He was awesome, and he didn't look like he was doing well right before the set. But
he got it together.
He pushed through. Yeah, he was. I was afraid he was going to go home.
Daryl Hammond. Who else was on it? It's the SNL alumni.
It was an SNL alum. Who else was
on there? Those guys are
there?
great. I just hate the show. It's such a horrible show.
Yes.
For so many years, but there's a lot of talented cats on it.
Yeah, and if they called and wanted us on, I would take it. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, it's everybody I know who's ever been part of that show, and I've known a bunch of people on that show. They say it's a horrific experience.
Yes. Well, the podcast with Dave and Dana is about Saturday Night Live and going on there. So they interview a lot of people, and the consensus with just about everybody was that it was a time they'll never forget, and that also it was traumatizing in some way. Everybody has their this and what's funny too is like when you hear people getting into inside baseball where they're like, yeah, Nancy, remember Nancy by the paper towels? She hated me. And then they'll start talking about it, and somebody will have to be like, hey, nobody knows what we're talking about, which is, I always like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, inside baseball is fun. But I want to reiterate, what a horrific show that has been for so many years, and it continues on, which is so devastating to all of us here in the United States if that's our flagship comedy show. By the way, the sun has come out here now in between these clouds, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Beautiful.
I wish you folks could see.
Yeah.
Maybe they can behind us a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, they could see the rays of sunlight, shimmering through the trees.
Yeah. How long have we done, by the way, Kev?
We have been going for 3.5 hours, 32 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're doing pretty good. We'll get in the middle of some bullshit, and I'll look down, and we're already 30 minutes in.
Does that include the thing over there with the tree?
No.
So we're about 35.
We're doing pretty good. Why, do you want to do another sketch?
Sure.
I think we ought to do a driving in the rain.
Right. I mean, that makes sense.
It's a little on the nose, but I think we need it.
Being on the nose sometimes is the way to be.
Absolutely. And now, driving in the rain with Eddie Pepitone.
It was another atmospheric river event. Weather was no longer weather. It was an event, and I still had to drive my Uber/Instagram/DoorDash/Uber Eats/anything that'll keep me afloat. And I was hydroplaning on all this water. I could barely goddamn drive. It was more like a hydroplane. And I had next to me a Huevos Ranchero that I had to get to a musical conductor, not unlike Maestro, the Bradley Cooper vehicle, which I thought was a little shitty. I looked in my rearview mirror, and all I saw were dead bodies floating. My Uber Eats timer was on. I was getting paid by the delivery, and I had to deliver this to a maestro. His name was Gus Bernstein. He was Leonard's illegitimate son. That's right, Gus Bernstein. The only thing Gus conducted was chaos in his own life. He was behind on the rent. He was behind on paying the cable bill. He was absolutely in chaos. He had just ordered a gas mask from the Alex Jones website. He had ordered supplements from Joe Rogan. He was going rogue. He started just not looking well at all. He would go conduct the chaos of his own life. But he was able to squeeze out enough money to pay for a Huevo Rancheros, and I had to get there as the rain fell. The rain fell like an elderly woman trying to walk in an ice storm. The rain fell like an elderly woman who fell in an ice storm and broke her hip, and it was the beginning of the goddamn end. That was where Gus Bernstein was out. The rain fell. The rain fell like a camera that fell from a tripod in the rain. It was tilted a certain way, and the saturation of the rain fell like a tree that couldn't take all the atmospheric rain. The rain fell like a gymnast with an inner ear infection. And as I hydroplaned toward Gus Bernstein, I saw him standing outside his apartment complex, and he was screaming, "I'm here! I'm here! It's me, Gus Bernstein!" And I hydroplaned, and I couldn't hit the brakes. The brakes I couldn't hit because the goddamn car, the brakes were waterlogged, and I careened toward Bernstein He said, no! And I just threw the huevo ranchero at him. I didn't even look. I heard a thud. I saw Bernstein hurtle through the air like one of those old-time family tumblers in the Russian circus. And I just floored it. I floored it. And I took the Los Angeles River instead of the highway. I just threw the car in the Los Angeles River, and now I was on the lam because it looked like I had killed Gus Bernstein. I was on the lam, and this lamb was juicy. It was a big lamb. It was a lamb, and I was on it, and I knew that I had a hideout. And I was in the LA River, and the river was cascading. And luckily, I had a canoe. And now I was canoeing in the rain. I wasn't driving in the rain. I called in to Uber Eats with my app, and I said, the Huevo Rancheros thing went sideways. They said, hand in your Uber Eats badge. And I said, gladly.
Thanks for joining us on another Driving in the Rain. Eddie Pepitone.
That was a hairy one, I think.
That would, I mean, a harrowing tale.
It really was.
By the wait, have you seen the LA River?
No, I haven't, actually.
It is full. It is. It was to the rim.
Out.
I was going through Instagram and looking for different shots because some guy was walking his dog and he was blown away. And then he was like, not literally, but he was.
Couldn't believe how full it was?
Yes, he's like, look at this.
It's right over here. It's not far from
here.
here. We should take a look at it.
Absolutely. And he kept going from one side to the other, going, can you see it? It's really full. Oh my gosh, let's go over here. Look at that, how full it is. And he was a great newsman, but it was just an Instagram guy. But it's wild. It's absolutely full. We're blown away by the amount of water in Los Angeles.
Well, actually, you know, all kidding aside, for me. I mean, it's great that we got so much rain because we've just been experiencing drought for so many years here, and there are consequences of the rain. But I think it's fucking great. How about you?
Yeah, well, I do know from being from the Central Valley that it is absolutely fantastic for most of the crops.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, you can get too much water.
Central Valley got nailed by this storm, right?
Yeah.
And anything happened to your people?
No, everybody seemed fine. My dad was very worried about me being up here because he saw that it was.
He was worried, huh?
He was worried because it's. I mean, on the Doppler radar, you can see.
Oh,
it's just going
right
through.
That Doppler radar is it. I'm a subscriber to the Doppler radar in my area. Yeah, I pay $39.95 to get all. I'm the first when Doppler. Actually, a guy in a Doppler radar outfit. It's a onesie.
Yeah.
It just says Doppler with like a satellite, and he'll knock on the door and go, "Storm is a brewing.
It's coming through.
Storms are brewing. Batten down the hatches."
I wish I had some hatches to batten down.
I know hatches are fun to batten down.
Very fun, but here in Los Angeles with the economy, it's hard to find a place with hatches that you can batten down. I can barely afford windows that I have to batten down.
Right, a hatch. A hatch will run you.
Someday.
I've gone into True Hardware and gone, how much for a hatch? And they're like, you don't got it, pal.
Yeah.
What do you mean I don't got it? I could tell by the way you're dressed you couldn't afford a hatch. And I'm like, yeah, don't judge a book by its cover. How much? $80. All right, you're right.
I'm out of here.
I'm going to go get a smoothie instead with the vitamin C booster.
Dude, I used to demonstrate Swiffer wet jets.
Oh, my God.
At the True Value Hardware as a spokesmodel.
I don't remember this job. Now, we've gone over your job.
I forgot. It was it was during my spokesmodeling days.
Is that when you were fit?
This was when I was more fit. Yes, and I remember.
Because when you're a spokesmodel and a floor model,
yes,
you've got to dress sexy. I'd imagine you had the T-shirt tied halfway on your belly.
There was a man shooting me with water. Yes, no, they said I barely got in on the cusp. of being a spokesmodel, and I was
A floor model.
I was,
and so
this
you
close.
would demonstrate a Swiffer?
I go, sir, would you like to see a fantastic new way to clean up
Where?
your dust and hair?
Where?
At True Value Hardware,
Oh, okay.
at Lowe's, at Home Depot.
Oh, you would go all around to these places?
Yeah, I did that for about...
Thinking we need you at True Value.
Yeah.
Where? In Encino.
Yeah, it's me,
Like 3
Proctor.
o'clock.
Yeah, it's Procter and Gamble would call me up. They go, hey, it's me, Procter, and me, Gamble, too. I'm here over here. Get the True Value. We need to sell some more Swiffers. It was the best of times, you know. I did it for about 2 or 3 weeks. It was a very short-lived career as a spokesmodel, but, you know, you dream. You know, if you dare to dream.
To dream the impossible dream. By the way, we're ending Apocalypse soon for today, and I want to leave you, me and Kevin want to leave you with this song. To fight the unbeatable foe. This is my quest to follow the star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how. Remember, folks, we know that we paint a bleak picture, but we also know that you folks out there are resilient. That no matter how dire your circumstances get, you can become a bread and circus member, no matter how dire.
You can subscribe to the Impossible Podcast.
Tell them what they can do, Kev.
Go over to patreon.com/Eddie Pepitone, and you can subscribe for $5 or $20. And with that money, you will get this podcast today. It comes out on video, full video, a link on there. You also get some exclusive stand-up clips from Eddie Pepitone, the man sitting right next to me. If you want more of this man, and I know you do, you want to see him day or night, fully nude, fully clothed, everything, be a circus member. $20 will get you some goodies. We'll also get you some apparel. Go over to YouTube, subscribe over there. You can get this podcast a week later and see all of our clips and all that fun stuff. Send in requests and encouragement and, you know, talking shit, whatever you want, to eddiepeppodcast@gmail.com. We love getting those emails. It's a nice, you know, when I'm loosening the rope from my neck to get an alert, you know, that says somebody is reaching out. It feels so good.
Yeah, when I'm having a shuddering orgasm and I see that someone has subscribed, it's nice.
It puts me over. I feel like David Carradine in that moment. You know, I feel like the samurai cowboy character,
Karate
man.
Kid,
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck he did.
And go to EddiePepitone.com. He's going on the road, folks. You can see him in person. You can touch him, feel him, poke him. You know, he'll show you the progress that he's made on the elliptical. And it's a beautiful thing to see.
That's right, everybody. All right, well, thank you for listening and watching Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside.